ones who were supposed to be with him wasn't on post. But you can always count on God being on post. Even when people let you down, God will never let you down. As you begin to grow in the things of God, God will begin to show you that through this walk, sometimes they're going to be hurt. Sometimes people ain't going to treat you right. Amen. But you still got to keep pressing forward. You still got to keep going forward. You can't stop. Because you got to understand that somebody's breakthrough is tied to your success. Amen. It may be your child. It may be your husband. It may be your next door neighbor. It may be that individual on the job. So you can't afford to give in. You can't afford to quit. Matthew 27. Sometimes we come to a place where we think that God just forgot all about us. You know, we've been serving God faithfully. Amen. I mean, at church every Sunday morning, early, standing on the doorpost. Amen. When ain't nobody else showing up, we showing up. And yet and still we don't see God doing nothing in our lives as we think. And so we begin to get frustrated. We begin to say, you know what, ain't nobody else coming to church, I ain't coming to church. Ain't nobody else serving, so I ain't going to serve. So then we begin to make our service towards God become towards people. And so now we're looking for accolades from people and rewards from people and not looking for them coming from God. Matthew 27, verse 25. This felt something to my spirit when I read this. Matthew 27, 45. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus, with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That's to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Here is Jesus. Here is Jesus, the Son of God himself, saying words like this, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Then verse 47 says, some of them that stood there, when they heard that, saying, this man called on Elias, and straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave to drink. And the rest said, let be. Let us see whether Elijah will come and save him. So Jesus now on the cross crying out, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? But then I recall back when Jesus stood at the tomb of Lazarus and Jesus began to pray and he said, Father, I thank you and I thank you that you always hear me. So now we see Jesus going from being steadfast in the things of God, believing God in his word, to where now he's hanging on the cross and he's saying, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of y'all looking at me like, what is he trying to do, put Jesus down? No, I'm trying to show you that God understands everything you're going through. That he knows that there was going to come moments in your life that you was going to get tired, that you were going to throw in the towel, that you was going to want to quit. He wanted to show you that just like you wanted to quit, my son wanted to quit.
Amen. Amen.
Jesus hung on that cross, and now he's asking the Father, why have you forsaken me, God? I'm your son. If you want to take it a little further than that, not only I'm your son, I'm you yourself. And you don't forsake me. Can you imagine that? Titus, him and the Father was together. Amen. And his birth, everything that he needed, God, the Father provided for him. He didn't even even have a job, didn't even have a place to stay. But God provided him a manger. Then sent wise men to bring him gold, myrrh, and frankincense. Provided him everything he needed. God has done the same thing to you. If you look back over your life, it wasn't because your mom and daddy took good care of you that you still here today. It's because the Father God provided for you even when you was out there in your foolishness. So if he brought you this far, he didn't bring you this far to leave you. He has a plan and a purpose for your life. Thoughts of good and not of evil to give you an expected end. But because you're going through, you're thinking that God has forgotten about you. Amen. How many have ever been there? So when you just feel like, Lord, I've been serving you, I've been sincere about what I've been doing, and Lord, I don't see you moving in my life. Looks like I'm not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. Now, I imagine Jesus heard all this stuff from the Father about how his name was going to be above every name, that everything was going to have to bow. Come on now. Amen. And I imagine Jesus was probably happy hearing all this stuff. That if I just go through this, I'm going to have a name that's above every name. Oh, man, it's going to be great. But until trouble came. See, when trouble comes, sometimes trouble will make you change your mind. Even about what you believe. I don't know how many times the devil came at me with some stuff, and I had to start thinking like, well, that's what the words say. And if you ain't careful, you will allow troubles, amen, to put you on the road to destruction. That's why you got to hold fast to your faith. You can't look at what it looks like. You can't look at what you're going through. Amen. You can't look at what happened to you. Amen. Sometimes we think because some stuff happens to us, God don't love us. Amen. God is trying to show you here today that no matter what you go through, I understand. I haven't forgotten about you. I imagine Jesus hanging on that cross. He thought that the Father forgot about him. He said, why are you forsaking me? All this year going on, and you ain't even nowhere around. Where are you at? Through my whole life, when I needed you and called on you, you were there. And now when I need you the most, where are you? Don't we feel like that sometimes? Lord, I'm going through. Can't you see I'm going through? Where are you at, Lord? Hebrews. Let's look at Hebrews right quick. Hebrews, the 4th chapter.